Hello, this is Marley from Fawn and Fire Intuitive. I hope you guys are doing awesome. I am doing a pick a card reading, messages from your future self. So it'll be guidance and the most important message you guys need to know right now from your future self or your higher self. On other dimensions, higher dimensions in the spiritual realm, there is no time. So you're able to get guidance that can really help put you on the trajectory for the best future. Okay, if you guys are looking for a personal reading, my information is in the box below. If you're on Instagram, I'm there too, and I'd love if you'd follow me. I love connecting with you guys there. It's Fawn and Fire Intuitive. And lastly, yeah, if you guys like this reading, please like or leave me a comment. Let me know if there's any other pick a cards you guys want me to do. I really want to start doing more pick a cards. Okay, so we have 4 piles here with 4 crystals. Okay, so this is smoky quartz right here. That will be for pile 1. Then we have the black obsidian 12-point Merkaba star for number 2. Rose quartz for number 3. And red adventurine for number 4. All right, so whichever one you feel drawn to. Whenever I watch a pick a card, I usually go for whatever I'm drawn to first. And sometimes if it's not right, I'll get a feeling like, nope, close your eyes and try again. And sometimes for me too, it's easier if you look at the timestamps in the box below when picking. That's me though. Okay. So let's get some of these out of the way. We're going to start with the smoky quartz. All right. So let's put these cards out. Okay, so the first thing we have is integration, number 30. The frequency of integration supports our embrace of every aspect of ourselves. Then we have intimacy, number 26. The energy of intimacy supports us trusting that we are safe to allow closeness. And then we have the 5th chakra. That is our throat chakra, and it helps us communicate clearly and truthfully. Then we have the lion spirit, number 37, be generous of spirit. Then we have sisterhood of the rose, beauty, devotion, mystic, teacher, and priestess. Interesting. Okay, so right off the bat, it seems like some of you are really trying to integrate an aspect of being able to be vulnerable in speaking your truth, okay? And this is really cool because it seems like some of you really have a spiritual calling on your life, or you're very mystical. You may be a tarot reader or a healer or do Reiki, or really have this desire to start sharing and speaking about the things that you know. And you're really being encouraged by your future self to be generous and to do that you might think like, oh, you know, I don't want the attention, or who am I to think I can do that? But the fact is, if you do it, you're actually being generous. You're actually sharing something that people really need. And for others of you, you may be in a place where you feel nervous to tell people about some of the stuff you've been exploring, or you just hold back certain aspects of yourself, and you're really being encouraged to just be you 100%, that who you are is awesome, that you actually are very intelligent, you have a lot of wisdom, you help a lot of people, and for some of you, you may have an aspect where you get it. It could be like you do good most, like you feel pretty like balanced most of the time, but when it comes to like a romantic or an intimate relationship, or once you connect with someone intimately, it might be harder for you to keep control of your emotions, and you may begin to communicate in ways that you know doesn't even really represent you, but your emotions get kind of heightened. And it's interesting because smoky quartz, it is a grounding stone. I did write down a few things about it here, that it does help release fear and anxiety, and it promotes calming and grounding. And it does seem like possibly you have some fears around communicating, sharing your truth, maybe putting yourself out there in public. Let's see what else we've got here. Yes, we have the Two of Wands, which means, you know, making a choice to stand in your power. And then we have the Star and the Sun. Wow. And I'm sorry, I thought this was the Two of Wands. The lighting's a little weird, and these cards are so reflective that it's hard for me to see, but we have the Ten of Wands, which is a burden, which is interesting. It's quite possible that in the past you have either overgiven or been in some toxic relationships, or just really had to carry a heavy burden, which a lot of times healers and people who go through like a spiritual awakening, they do carry a burden. They carry a burden, and a lot of times it'll be kind of what catapults them into like their spiritual gifts, their psychic gifts. And I mean, it really is showing that you are a healer. And if you have been thinking about beginning to speak or starting a YouTube channel or a podcast or writing a book, you're getting, yes, do it, do it. Let's see what else we have here. Some of you might need to, you know, if you feel like really burdened by like the ideas you have, or you have a lot of ideas, again, you're being encouraged that giving and speaking, it'll actually be very generous of you, because you have a perspective with this Hanged Man here that not everybody has. The way you explain it, the way you do things, the way you write, whatever it is for you. And for some of you, I just feel to say there's an aspect of make sure you do the work. You know, like you guys are very spiritual, clearly, and you have a lot to share. And then it's saying for some of you, like you have like this great idea, and make sure you do the studying and everything, because it is gonna kind of already take all the gifts that you have, but then kind of put a spin on it. Interesting. Okay, and then yes, you're going from the Ten of Wands. If you've been feeling really burdened, you're moving towards the Ten of Pentacles. There's going to be healing too, like your financial situation, your home situation, and then yeah, you're just truly being encouraged to step into your power. We have the King of Wands here. You're building something. You're really being encouraged to build something, and you're being told like you are going to have public victory. Like people are going to look up to you. People want to hear what you have to say. People want to hear what you have to say. And it's almost like, you know, you may like stand, it's like you stand behind and you look at the other stars. You look at the people that you think, oh, they could do it better, that they have a better connection. They, you know, they have more help. They have more wisdom. They're channelers. You look at other people's gifts, but it leaves you standing in the shadow. It leaves you standing in the shadow because you have gifts too. You have something to say, okay? And then, also, when it comes to your romantic relationships, if you kind of are looking forward to like future relationships, actually really allowing yourself to be 100% you is going to help bring that into like the Ten of Pentacles, where you are really standing in your power. You're really proud of the work you're doing, and you're going to be finding someone who really kind of gives you everything you always wanted. That's going to journey with you. There's a lot of really great things coming in for you, but it's the first step is like step out of the shadow into the spotlight. Step out of the shadow into the spotlight. Your guides may have been speaking to you. You most likely already know, like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And yes, your guides are speaking to you, because as soon as I said that, I got so many chills. You have a lot to look forward to. The 10 of Pentacles, the 6 of Wands, and the 4 of Wands, okay? And the Star and the Sun. And be careful about overgiving. Not everyone's problems are your burden to fix. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, okay? And it's kind of like, yes, you know, divine timing. Make sure that if there's some studying you need to do or whatever, but you're being encouraged to step out of the shadow, because it's almost like you've been hanging around for a while, you know? Like, oh, I don't know. But as you just kind of open up vulnerably and begin to share your truth, or step into this public spotlight, all of a sudden, and just be you 100%, because who you are is awesome. You don't need to be anybody else. Like, integrate all aspects of you, because then we have the star. Like, we have the star here, but it's the shadow of it. And then we have the star, the 10 of Pentacles, the 4 of Wands. Look at this card where they're running together. That's in your future. This is commitment and promotion. And then again, we have Priestess. How are you being called to step up to lead? The Sun, which is yes, and the most positive card in the tarot, the King of Wands, a very creative, you know, using your giftings in a disciplined, regimented way to build a career and public victory. So pile number 1, I hope this was helpful for you. That is a really encouraging message, I think. It shows you have just a lot of positive things coming in. Okay, I'm going to move on to number 2 now. Let me just get all this out of the way really quick. Okay, pile number 2, we have Black Obsidian. Okay, Black Obsidian is great for protection. It is also, I wrote down a few other things. I usually use it for protection, but when I was looking up the stones, I saw a few things, and a few things jumped out to me. It's also used for healing and integration of the shadow. It's a volcanic rock, and so when I saw that volcanic rock thing, I did kind of picture this volcano exploding, and I really thought about anger. And then the fact that I use it for protection, but one of the things I always have to remind myself when I'm super concerned with protection, as within, so without. The greatest way we protect ourselves is by going within and finding the fear that actually is kind of allowing us to be attacked, and release it or acknowledge it, listen to it, and figure out what's really going on. Okay, so let's see. We have Magic, number 31. Joy, number 28. So the frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment. And move towards possibilities and expressions that are as grand and as profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in their manifestation. Then we have Joy, number 28. The energy of joy activates our feelings of happiness and well-being and supports high vibrational frequency in our being. And then we have Healing. So we have 28 and 29 here. The frequency of healing supports our intrinsic ability to restore our health and wholeness by consciously using the information that comes to us through our senses and harmonizing everything accordingly. Okay, so that healing, you know, when certain feelings come up in your body, or you do feel fearful, or like somebody's trying to attack you, or because I get this sense for some of you, you might be afraid that like somebody's trying to cast a spell on you, or doing black magic, or the evil eye, or cursing you. And yes, like if you're feeling negative energy come towards you, I do recommend black obsidian and smoky quartz. Because sometimes even just the act of like setting an intention on a crystal to protect us, I mean, it helps us release some of that fear in some ways. But there, for you, there may be an aspect of needing to take a look at, it's like if you are super fearful that if somebody is attacking you spiritually or through spell work or something, is there anything that, any way that you've been attacking others? But that's just for somebody. That's not the whole message here. So I'm going to keep pulling, okay? Then we have Sing Your Own Song, the Canary Spirit, number 12. Then we have Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Then we have the Conqueror of Swords, the King of Swords. Justice, lots of air energy here, so you could be dealing with a Libra. Then we have the Four of Coins. Then we have the Eight of Pentacles, the Hermit. Justice again, double justice. That's crazy. King of Cups, Ace of Wands, Eight of Wands. Okay. So, okay. I do feel like in this pile, one of the reasons you might be feeling, this is what I feel, this is the message from your future self or your higher self, that one of the reasons that you might be feeling maybe like you're under attack is there could be like a relationship or a situation that you have had heavily, heavily, heavily on your mind. And it looks like it was possibly a karmic connection, okay, that you were balancing the scales somehow. And it's possible that you have just been like really thinking about it. You could be like trying to manifest it or cast spells in some way. But it's almost, there's an aspect of, be careful if you've been like doing so much to try to get it to happen. Do you see how she's like dancing naked behind them and they don't notice her? Like a naked woman is behind them. Like, this way, there's something better. And they don't even notice. And I feel like that for you as well, that there's a certain aspect that you haven't even noticed because she's standing between these two pillars that are headed to the sun, headed towards enlightenment. Could be a portal to another, timeline, to something good, And it could be that if you're very hyper focused on one thing, and if you are actually constantly like checking the tarot cards about that person or something, you're actually kind of setting the precedence that you're okay with people doing that back to you, okay? That you're okay with somebody constantly checking the tarot cards for you. Now, for some of you, what I do feel, there is somebody really trying to get your attention, and it's quite possible they do check the tarot cards a lot. And that might be why sometimes you get like this weird feeling. I need to pull a few more cards about the double justice. I really want to know what's happening here. I don't feel like I've hit on it quite yet. The thing that's confusing me is this joy here, because we have, it's like kind of showing, one person alone hyper focused on like really in their head, really, really like overthinking a situation. And then over here, yeah, I'm getting ringing in my left ear too. This is a negative energy. And then over here we have, so this is a King of Swords. This could be Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. And then over here we have the King of Cups, okay? This is someone standing in their power, like kind of unaware of this woman dancing behind them. you also have Virgo energy over here. And Aries. There's this decision that needs to be made to go in a new direction. Geez, so many of the same cards. We have the Eight of Pentacles again. Okay. Yeah, there's somebody over here that could be like obsessively thinking about a situation, all going over the details over and over and over again in their head, really wanting a new beginning. But there is like a energy where there's somebody who's not thinking the same way as this person. It could be you, okay? It's either if you have like cut someone out of your life, they're still obsessively thinking about you. If you haven't, then you might be the one that's obsessively thinking about someone else. What's this joy here? It's time to kind of get back grounded, okay? If you're the one that's obsessively thinking. If not, you know, if not, it's saying don't worry too much about it. If you know there's someone kind of obsessed with you and you're a little worried, don't worry about it, okay? Like, just stay focused on your life and don't get focused on the negative. If you're the one that is, you know, and you know, if you really care about someone and you're thinking about them a lot, it's important to kind of get your focus on something else. Because it is affecting, here's the thing that's kind of crazy. You might feel like you have this deep soul connection with somebody, but soul connections, they come in for a lot of different reasons, and it's very easy for us to assign whatever definition we want to them. But what I'm seeing here, what your next kind of choices and decisions, it's really important to weigh all the facts and weigh everything you're really feeling. Really look at the case with an impartial eye, with the double justice and judgment here, okay? Because highly likely it was a karmic relationship and you cleared the contract, okay? But you need to let it go, or they just need time to let it go. And if they're still obsessing about it, just really, you know, meditate, visualize the contract being torn up and burnt, and tell them, you know, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, forgive me if I've hurt you in this life or any other life, I forgive you, you know, you are free and I am free. And really visualize that. Because there is something very karmic and spiritual, and it goes up a lot of layers, okay? And the things that happen here, they do affect soul aspects of us in other dimensions, other realities. That is, you know, some people's, that is one theory. So sometimes you can be doing something that has a bigger purpose than you even realize. Okay, so just make sure you're not clinging to it like it has to be, because it looks like it was pretty karmic, and really you should be very joyful about this connection, because it has taught you a lot about manifesting, and it's brought a lot of healing to you both, okay? But it's really saying like, okay, get back focused on the practical, and don't really get, first off, if it's the other person that is obsessive, like don't get super angry or fearful or let your emotions take over. If it's you that feels obsessive, like you have to have somebody, it's saying stop trying to manifest it. Like you've got to let go. It's putting too much negative energy out, and it could be opening you up to, you know, experiencing lower vibrational things. It's really encouraging you. You're going to feel so much joy when you choose to stand in your own power, okay? And you're really moving towards something better. Someone like this person, they didn't necessarily emotionally, they wouldn't have been able to give you like what you truly wanted. They're very much in their head, and you're moving towards somebody that, oh yes, you're moving towards somebody caring, loving, willing to stand up for you by their own volition. And that's something that you're working on, is building the confidence. And, you know, the more you kind of focus on the practical, you're going to be building the confidence to align with this person. And then this person is just going to be like, you're the one. And they're going to care about you so much that it wouldn't matter if some woman somebody threw themselves at them naked. They wouldn't even notice. They wouldn't even notice. And if you're obsessing over somebody that you feel like, oh my gosh, there were girls there or whatever, I mean, it's really showing, don't worry about it, because they were just with their friends. Yes, but you need to kind of set some boundaries and really focus on singing your own song, building things in your own life right now. That seems like the strongest message from your future self, like that it is going to pay off. So do that, okay? If this didn't resonate with you, you can always pick another pile, but I'm going to go on to pile number 3. I just want to get these out in case I need to use them to clarify again. Okay. Pile 3. That is the rose quartz. So rose quartz is very much about the heart chakra. It is very healing. It really does. I remember I had a piece of rose quartz that just meant so much to me. I would would use it on my third eye to connect my heart to my third eye when I first started working on opening my third eye, and it worked really well. When I was healing from heartbreak, I would hold it. It really does bring a lot of balance to the heart chakra. It helps us to kind of integrate. It can, if you set the intention as you're holding it, integrate like the masculine and feminine aspect of love, so that you're not codependent. And it can help just protect and strengthen a sensitive heart, you know? If you're using it while you're meditating, or you can set those intentions. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Number 3, throat chakra. Number 5, the frequency of the throat chakra, the blue flower of life, supports our self-expression and our sense of peace and balance. You know, I thought it was interesting. I'm like, why do I keep saying if you intend? But then with this throat chakra coming out, and what's jumping out to me, it's saying the blue flower of life. Well, what's so interesting with the flower of life? You know, it starts as the seed of life, and then there's more circles and more circles, just the way like in the womb, like the cells begin to separate and become a human. What you are speaking right now over your love life, over yourself, over past broken hearts, it's going to continue to expand. Like, you are creating the tapestry, and it begins with your words. Your words are spells. And so I do feel it's really important to work on healing from any past pain, and really be able to speak from your heart in a way that will create the flower that you want in your life, okay? Then we have intuition, 27. That's crazy that I mentioned the third eye too. The energy of intuition supports our ability to conceive the subtle language of the realms beyond the three-dimensional reality. And then we have compassion. Number 15. Stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth. Okay, so some of you, this resonates a lot, because I remember this, going through this, what I'm feeling for you guys right now. A lot of you might be like gatekeeper light workers, where you're kind of called to, it can be difficult because you're called to love people, and you plant a seed in people with your love and compassion, and you kind of have this knowing like, okay, it's that person, you know, and that I'm meant to be with right now, or I'm meant to be friends with them. You may just know like really quickly like who you're supposed to connect with, and you are so amazingly loving that you do bring healing to people. But the difficult aspect of that is you draw to you people who really need healing. And so it can be important to really use your intuition, like, what am I meant to give to this person? Because if you have a lot of wounding or past baggage, you could end up overgiving or getting attached to a toxic situation, or maybe that's happened to you in the past. 23, Spirit has your back. You're being really encouraged, like, you are very strong and very loving. And yes, maybe you have some baggage and maybe you don't do everything right, but just know, like, you've had relationships and things that may have felt really toxic, but somehow you were bringing healing to a person. And sometimes you may feel lonely and like people, you know, don't always stick around, or just, you know, really wanting deeper relationships than you have right now. But there is an aspect, like this higher purpose, where people come in and you give them like a key, and you may not even see like the outcome, or sometimes I've seen it in my life take years but you wake up the love and the empathy and the compassion within them, and your words ring in their ears later on down the road when they, you know, do the same thing again, the same toxic pattern to somebody else, and they don't know why their life isn't working out. For some reason, your love encourages them. Then we have share your voice, come out of the cave, the Four of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Cups. Okay, and so for some of you, it's possible that you were really, really hurt, okay? Really hurt. Or maybe you've been on a spiritual journey and you've kind of locked yourself away a little bit, and you're being encouraged, it's time to come out now, okay? Because we have the Four of Wands. This is promotion. This is a relationship. This is union. We have the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups. There are new things for you, emotionally satisfying things, exciting things for you to experience. And if you've been afraid to step out in certain ways, and the throat chakra and the share your voice, I mean, it could be too, and if this resonates with you, you might want to check out pile number 1, because you could be called to speak. You could be called to share your journey. You could be called to share your wisdom. You could be called to be a tarot reader or a healer, or you know, any one of those, or even just a public speaker. You could be called into politics. Maybe some of you are called into politics and you want to change the world to, you know, like, or your town or wherever, to actually, you know, be more healthy. You have inspiration towards that. Okay. Then we have the Sun, the Ace of Wands again, and the Emperor. Okay, I'm going to get some clarity. I want to know why we have the Ace of Wands twice, okay? Some of you are just, you're really called to be a leader. You're called to be a leader. Some of you could be called to work with children and inspire children. And I'm going to go into these in just a second. I want to find out why we have 2 Ace of Wands. You have an idea that's going to be very emotionally satisfying to you. And Spirit has your back. It's like, go for it. If you haven't had that idea yet, it's coming, okay? It could be this summer that it's coming. Okay, some of you may have experienced like a big shift of fate. Like something could have drastically changed in your life. It could have happened. It could be in regards to a child. It could have happened when you were a child. It could have happened in the summertime. You may have felt really bound in a situation and you're being called to step out of that bondage. Yeah, some of you could have been cheated on, or you could have had like a third-party situation, but some of you, there was a situation, it was fated, okay? It could have felt like a soulful connection or something, but and definitely just know, like, if you are in contact with this person, you did bring a lot of healing to this person. Okay. Some of you, if you were really hurt as a child, you're going to create something from that situation that actually is going to bring you a whole lot of justice. You're going to get your confidence back from whatever kind of beat it down. Yeah, we have the, that's right. Yes. Yes, come out of the cave. Look at the fear holding that person within. And it's so interesting because we have the Four of Swords, like this person, the doorway's blocked by past memories with the Four of Swords, and then the stress, like the PSD, to try to leave, to go outside. There's almost an aspect with the Six of Pentacles here. You are going to be able to keep all of this in the air. If you've gone through something really difficult, you look, he steps outside and there's like a miracle. Everything's balancing out. Everything's balancing out. It's like almost a need to step back into, yeah, we have the Fool, into the unknown. Almost a need to step into like a little bit of your masculine energy to step out for yourself. You are headed into a time where there will not be like fighting and toxic issue. It won't be toxic anymore. And it seems like, okay, you could have had dreams, like you might know which way you're meant to go, and you might have certain fear and certain subconscious fears. That leave you in this place where it can be scary sometimes for you to work with others or to open yourself up. But just know that, you know, don't keep waiting. If you're like waiting on someone to come back who hasn't come, don't keep waiting for like something to bloom. Like it's just, you're really being encouraged to step out, to start actually taking inspired action. That Ace of Wands is inspired action, to follow your ideas. Tell me about the Six of Pentacles. You know, you could be afraid of being judged. Like if somebody really attacked your self-esteem, you could be afraid of being judged, afraid of being seen, afraid people won't like you, afraid that nobody will want to hear what you have to say, afraid to put yourself out there. Yeah, we have the Two of Wands again. Like afraid to stand in your power. So you're not moving on from a situation. So what's the best advice here? Because this is pretty deep. Allow yourself to get uncomfortable. You know, let yourself feel whatever you need to feel to mourn the past. Mourn the past and let it crumble. Let it crumble. I just heard this song. You might want to listen to it. It's James Arthur. I need the sun to break. I need the sun to break. You've opened up my heart, I'm shaking. All my luck could change. Been in the dark for weeks. I realized, sorry. Been in the dark for weeks. I realized you're all I need. I hope I'm not too late. I hope I'm not too late. Something big is about to change. It's going to be a wish come true. The sun is going to shine, but it's like you've got to come out of the cave. Maybe do work on, just, you know, work on that heart chakra, to being willing to trust again, working on your confidence, on sharing your voice with compassion, trusting your intuition. Some of you are getting a communication that you've really been waiting for. And I know that came in at the end because that isn't for everybody, but there's somebody watching who is dealing with like a divine masculine, and you're getting a communication. You're getting a communication very soon. Okay. All right. So that was pile number 3. If that didn't resonate with you, you can always pick another pile. If it did, please comment below. Let me know. Like the video, share it if you can. It helps out the channel. I'm just putting stuff random places. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Okay, moving on to pile 4. We've got the Red Adventurine, and this is very much about like stepping into your power. It's very energizing. I did write down some things about it. I was holding this the other day, and man, I held it with rose quartz, and I felt such a clearing in my sacral chakra. But it helps you be yourself, be courageous, encourages the flow of universal life force. It can really help with your health. It helps you focus your energy. If you're anything like me and you go down like lots of rabbit trails in your mind, it helps you focus your energy, and it reduces lethargy. So that could be a message for you, but we're going to see what else is in here, and I'm glad I picked that up as I'm on number 4. So hopefully it gave me some energy. Okay, card number 1, we have change. We're looking at what does your future self, your higher self, really want you to know right now so that you can align with the best of the best for yourself, okay? The frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. Then we have realization. This is awesome. Like already it's saying there's going to be some big changes, and you're letting in the new. And with this Red Adventuring, I feel like you're going to be creating something, and something that you've wanted is actually going to manifest, like be in your life. The frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in the world. Okay, so you've obviously most likely been going through like a learning curve. Like you've been learning a lot, and some things and some beliefs that you've had are not working for you anymore. There's maybe certain relationships that you wanted that actually energetically won't thrust you forward right now. The frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of the not so obvious, never seen before combinations and union that result in new ways of functioning. This is really cool. So for some of you, it could be like a new job, a new business, but there's been change, and you're going to be bringing about something that like, it just feels unexpected, yet it feels exciting. It feels like you're onto something. Like you've got a good idea and you're onto something, and it's going to create something exciting, but it's going to be something very different. This is cool. Freedom is yours. If you are like in a job or a partnership or certain things, like if you constantly feel like your creativity is being squelched, like you have something kind of specific and unique to bring to the world. And you're being encouraged to kind of run with it. We have the number 33, answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? I have so many chills right now. That's so cool. Okay, then we have the World. Yeah, Seeker of Wands. So that's the Page of Wands, and then the 10 of Swords. Okay, so there is something to leave behind. There's completion that kind of moves towards expansion. You have a creative idea. It may seem kooky or kind of out in the distance. I do want to know, why is this 10 of Swords here? You know, you could feel like, oh, if I do this, I'm going to be stabbing some people in the back. Guard your ideas. Be careful. Don't share your ideas with people who could squelch them or steal them, okay? Tell me about this 10 of Swords. Yeah. You know, it's possible some of you got really hurt by somebody who came on loving. Okay, but also you're putting a lot of energy into something that is not satisfying you. And deep down, you know it. You know it. It's I don't want to say keeping you small, because you don't have a small energy. You do not have a small energy. You have a powerful, creative energy, and it's different. Like you have ideas that are cool and are needed, but it seems like you're very conflicted about stepping into your power. You could be afraid of hurting somebody, but there's a need to step into your power. Let's see what else we've got here. Okay, you are a very, this is pretty powerful. You are a very supportive person. And it's most likely you help others balance like a lot of stuff, and you're there for other people. And it may feel like people aren't always there for you, okay? You could be in this position right now, like I'm kind of seeing this map. You might not even know. I feel like some of you already know, but some of you don't even know like the ideas you have locked away in you and what's going to kind of happen on your path. And there might be times where you feel hurt or you feel overlooked, but you're like learning specific things. With this High Priestess in the reverse, I just feel like you haven't yet seen the depth of what you're going to be doing. So don't get discouraged if sometimes along the road you have to do things that you're like, I don't really want to be doing this. Like sometimes you may have to support people. Sometimes you may have to be the backup. Sometimes you may have to be the one like helping to teach somebody else. Yeah. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I'm just going to pull a few more cards because we have Temperance, the Eight of Wands, and the Seven of Cups. You know, you may, your future self is encouraging some of you. You're going to be trying to mix together two things that don't seem to work together. We have fire and water, okay? And it's showing you're going to shoot your shot. Sometimes it's going to work and sometimes it's not. Don't get discouraged, okay? Don't get discouraged. Yes, because there's a learning curve to that. There's a learning curve to whatever it is you're going to be doing. So don't be discouraged. Somebody works with like carnival games or something. Yes, okay. You know how with carnival games too, it's like there's a way to do it. You're going to kind of be learning the way to do it, because whatever the two elements you're bringing together, and this could be for career or art or something. And if this doesn't resonate with you, pick a different pile. There were lots of different messages, but this one, it seems mostly like about career or art or a creation. You're going to learn from the things that don't work, and it's going to help kind of make the perfect mix. Like some of you could be like bakers or cooks, or it's a creative like profession, or even if it's not a creative profession, it's a creative idea. Like that can revolutionize something. Ooh. 10 of Cups. Your family, maybe it's your family that kind of like doesn't get it. This card is really beautiful. And it's hard to tell if the ship is coming and going, but it's like, whatever's going to happen, it's like you're making a bang. But keep your ideas, like, you need to kind of work on them on your own a little bit and learn what, because there's going to be some like fails. Like it's not going to just come together right away. Like some of it's going to be like, oh, that didn't work. But it's saying don't get discouraged by the times it doesn't work, but also make sure you're being practical, that that you're making sure, like, I just feel for this is just for a few people, because some people I feel like it's very specific. You already know what you want to be doing and you're being encouraged to do it. So there's another group that I feel like they are, you're still kind of in the learning phase. You don't even have the idea yet, but you're just being encouraged, like, learn everything you can on this path, because it's all going to come together to create something cool. Then there's a smaller last group that I feel like, it's possible, like, you move so quick towards other ideas that you don't fully explore one that you have that's really good. And this, they're really wanting me to pull just a little more on this freedom is yours. So let's find out what the message is. Number 33 is significant. Okay, some of you, it's, again, it could be family, it could be a relationship. It's like you've given and given and given, you haven't received. It could be a working relationship. It's like someone else always gets the credit, or there was a third-party situation. This might not be in the past. This may come up. Yeah, okay, if there's a past relationship, like, don't keep holding on. If there was like a third-party situation and all of that, like, yes, you're loving and everything, but it's taking up like a lot of mental energy, it seems like. What else is that about? And make sure you're doing what you love. And if there's a season when you're not doing what you love, you know, still spend time creating it in your mind, thinking about it, thinking about the type of career that you would like to have, really visualizing yourself having it, because it's already in your energy field. Freedom is yours. You're moving towards like something really creative and unconventional. Yeah. I mean, for some of you, the reason it might be so scary is because it's really showing it's kind of like starting over from scratch, and there's being on guard to that, and having to walk away from certain things that there is a measure of satisfaction, yet you know that you're being called to go deeper, like into something, into the unknown, into something that is kind of unfamiliar for you, and it could feel like a pipe dream, but you know, if they feel like this isn't like, oh my gosh, it could go so wrong, what is your encouragement for them? Yeah. You know, it's saying it's not going to be fast. It's not going to be fast. Like, you're going to have to build it, but you're going to be able to balance all this. You're not going to look foolish. You're not going to look foolish. Yeah. And actually, people are going to watch you from their place of like fear and be like, wow, they really have so much confidence, and look what they've built. And you're not even going to know. Here's the thing, already you don't know all the people who think you're really amazing, and you're not going to know necessarily all the people who admire you and wish they could be like you. Like, some people, they may be like, oh, why do you do things that way? But actually they wish they could be like you. Okay? Queen of Cups again, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Yeah, just, it's, I mean, yes, there's work involved. Your wish is coming true, there's work involved. And your emotions, like, what are these emotions about? What's the, This is so interesting. It could have something to do with like healthcare. Because we have like the Queen of Cups, Strength, and Seven of Swords. And I'm not. Okay, so there's always, you know, the potential for positive and negative, you know, but right now what's happening, it could be right now you're doing something that's good, you know, it's like you're doing something that's right, but it's not necessarily fulfilling your soul, you know. But also, what I really feel like the message is, whatever it is that you're going to be like leaping into, there's going to be shadow and light to it. There's going to be shadow and light to it, you know, and it's going to require you to dig deep. And I think how you know that you're headed in the right direction is it's something that you really are passionate about, something that you love. And there may be, if certain emotions rise up, if you are really sensitive, there may be times where you really have to kind of like heal those and even to be able to like take the next step, you know, because there is an emotional aspect to this. Okay, I hope that was helpful. That last one was a little bit confusing. It went down like a bunch of things. Okay, so much love to you guys. Again, if you're looking for a personal reading, my information is in the box below, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.